Is it just me, Spurs fans, or does Buzelis look a little like a young Eli Manning? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Hope you're having a great weekend and hope you're enjoying the new type of coverage we're doing here in regard to the NBA Finals. That being said, we've talked about Buzelis a little on the channel, but really haven't dug deep into who he is and what does he do. And lo and behold, this morning, pounding a rock, boop, put up an article about his strengths, weaknesses, and Spurs fit. And I was like, you know what? Let's talk about him this morning. Buzelis, a 6'10" wing out of the G League Ignite, 14 points per game, about 6.5 rebounds, 2 assists, and shooting splits of 44, 27, and 68. Ooh, okay. He's a young player. Young players struggle with efficiency. So, okay. All right. We can work on that. Let's talk about some other things. First off, player comparison. I thought you'd like this as Spurs fans. A faster Kyle Anderson. So what are we going to call him? Medium Mo? Medium speed Mo? No, probably none of the above, but just immediately I saw faster Kyle Anderson. I was like, yeah, Spurs fans will dig that. Let's talk about his strengths. At the draft combine, he measured about 6'9" without shoes with a 6'10" wingspan. He tested well athletically with a 38-inch vertical leap and 3.09 three-quarter sprint. So he's more athletic than originally people thought. So good job at the combine. Buzelis has good instincts as a weak side rim protector who can slide over and erase shots. He averaged 2.1 blocks in the G League this season. Well, hello. All right, another rim protector next to Wemby. I like the sound of that. As a matter of fact, right now his shot blocking might be his most translatable skill to the next level. He has some work to do as an off-ball defender, as he's still late in rotations every once in a while. So he would fit in with the Spurs, right? Late in rotations. But he has a strong base to build upon as a weak side helper. Okay, so far so good. Moving right along. Buzelis has shown the willingness and ability to move off the ball as a cutter where he can score or find an open man. According to Synergy, Buzelis scored 1.304. That's very specific. 1.3 points per possession while cutting. A team like the Spurs would like his ability to play off the ball both as a cutter and a spot-up wing. When I immediately think of moving without the ball, even though he's not on the Spurs anymore, Doug McDermott comes to mind because he was great moving without the ball and just going this way and going that way. I haven't watched really any of Buzelis' game. Is it similar to Dougie's movement? For those of you that, of course, know Dougie from watching the Spurs, but also followed G League Ignite, does Buzelis have a little in his game, the ability to move like Dougie did off the ball? If he does, then that's certainly a plus for me. His more natural offensive position may be a hybrid four-man with this combination of touch in the mid-range, length, and mid-post skills. Buzelis has soft touch on turnarounds and face-up jumpers in the post. Okay. All so good right now, right? We got some weaknesses, Spurs fans, so buckle up. He was an often inefficient scorer, as we already talked about his shooting splits, who struggled to hit shots from deep, creating an advantage in the half court, nor make plays for others. Buzelis shot just 27% from three and had a negative assist to turnover ratio. I know he's young. I know it's his first year in the G League. Anytime I have to read the words negative assist to turnover ratio, it's just something inside just like grape. He shot 36% on jumpers off the dribble and hit 31% of his catch and shoot jumpers. Okay, so we got some weaknesses, some things to work on. Also, Buzelis got tossed around by bigger players throughout the season. He could get bumped off his drive, cleared out underneath the rim, and completely ran over at times. So he's another guy that he needs some milk. We saw him when he bulk up over the course of the Spurs season. We've seen Don Vassell bulk up, so we know we have a good training program that could help him out. And as a matter of fact, hey, guess what? Buzelis looks stronger and more explosive in recent workout videos. Cha-ching! Out of all the prospects in the 2024 draft, he could benefit the most from an NBA strength and conditioning coach. A matured and more built-out Buzelis could be a problem on both ends. Okay, that's good to read. Yeah, he's got to bulk up, but both ends of the floor. We don't want a guy that just does offense or defense. It'd be nice to have somebody that can play on both ends. Some of the greatest Spurs of all time, I mean, in my time at least, were two-way players. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, for those of you who like to hear the name on the channel, and Wemby's obviously proven to be an elite two-way player. So if we can add another very stout, good two-way player to the Spurs roster, hey, sure, sounds good. But we're not done with the weaknesses yet. Buzelis still needs to get better around the rim. He was a fine finisher, but doesn't have a go-to move at the cup. He struggles to go above, around, or through a defender at the hoop. He shot just 47.6% on layups with the Ignite. Oh, okay, so immediately what comes to mind, and I'm sorry to call him out, but last season, Jeremy Sohan, he was a fine finisher when dunking, respect the dunking, but when it came to layups around the rim, it was an ish show. I can't believe how many missed shots my man had in the paint at the rim. I don't know what the percentage was, but it felt like a lot. And if you all watched every game like I did, or most games, you're probably like, yeah, I remember Sohan missing a lot of layups. It was just a weird year in regards to that part of Jeremy's season. I don't know why he couldn't finish. And this immediately, I'm having nightmares of just seeing him and Jeremy both attacking the rim with layups and just whoop, 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 and just missing left and right. He's young. He can improve on that. Oh gosh, we're not done with the weaknesses. Okay. Buzelis has a fairly high dribble. Immediately think of Wemby. Wemby had a lot of turnovers last year, and a big part of that was his high dribble because he's freaking tall. He has a high dribble and doesn't have enough craft off the bounce to keep the ball away from defenders. There were multiple times this season where he would dribble the ball into traffic or only to get it stripped by a defender. He doesn't beat many players off the bounce either. There also remains a question of who Buzelis can defend efficiently at the next level. He's too slow off foot to guard faster wings, and he's too slow of foot to guard faster wings, and he's too weak to guard big ones inside. He's slow on closeouts and gets lost on a lot of screen actions. Were there more negatives than positives? Spurs fit. Okay, where does he fit? Because right now, I'm not a big fan. But let's find out what they have to say. He can operate as a connector and cutter in a system built on ball and player movement. Okay, all right. He would thrive cutting and spacing off the intention Wemby draws, which Wemby does. To fully maximize that fit, his jump shot would need to come back around. If it does, the Spurs could have a near perfect fit next to Wembanyama. A big wing who could potentially score at all three levels while providing a shot blocking presence alongside him would help the silver and black. I believe that's all I got. Okay, lot to unpack there, Spurs fans. Sounds like he's got potential. However, when I think potential, my mind immediately starts going Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson, Joshua Primo, recently Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley. Potential is a word I've used a lot on this channel, probably too darn much. And this feels like a player that falls under that category. Lots of negatives, but if you can correct some of those issues, there's legit potential for him a very good player and a starter. Of course, you could say that, like TSR potential, you say that about everybody. It's not just certain players. I mean, I suppose I've said Wemby potentially has a chance to be one of the greatest Spurs of all time, but as far as his actual talent and skill, I never questioned that. And with this player, I am. That being said, if the Spurs draft him, like a lot of guys, there's going to be things that need to be fixed. Personally, I would not want to see him drafted at 4. I would not be happy like that. It seems like he's projected to go before 8, looking around at all the experts here and there. So if we drafted him at 8, would I be upset? And be between probably him, Tidjane, and Ron. So I'd be fine as long as he doesn't turn into Lucas Doncic 2.0. So that's all I got, my friends. Drop a comment down below. If we draft Buzelis, how would you feel if we drafted him at 4? How would you feel if we drafted him 8? How would you feel if you just didn't draft him at all? Let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate your support. Hit the thumbs up if you train to support the channel. Subscribe to become part of our awesome San Antonio Spurs community. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.